Welcome to the Business Minute and Women of Color podcast. I am your host, Ann Alston, and it is my pleasure to bring quality programs to all of you. I am so excited to have this podcast again today, and I am especially excited for all of the participants and guest speakers who are on this podcast. I want to make sure to encourage you to stop by all of the pages and listen to all of the podcasts because there is tons and tons of good information for small business owners, authors, and job seekers. So please take advantage of this unique opportunity. And just in case you didn't know what the purpose of the podcast was, is to share industry and information, network our small businesses, and encourage career seekers to enter their line of work. So I also want to take a few moments just to thank our corporate sponsors, a family of authors, Butler Armstead Consulting Solutions, Human Resource Learning Center, J&F Enterprises, and Women Offering Wealth, along with our business partners for helping us make this a successful event. So today I want to talk about health and wellness and in relation to the beauty within. What makes a person beautiful? There's so many definitions of what people think beautiful is. And if you look at the many attributes, we can describe it in so many words. But when you hear the words Mary Kay, what do you think about? Yeah, beauty products, right? But what about Buffalo Soldiers Association of West Point? Now, many of you probably have never heard of that company before, and you're probably thinking, how does this relate to beauty? Well, there are many organizations out there that don't know that, for this type of organization and what Mary Kay does is that they work together to acknowledge, honor, promote, and preserve the things that they do in their organization. And for the Buffalo Soldiers in particular, they also work for the military persons that have served in our United States military. And this in itself is a very, very beautiful thing. So if you haven't heard of this organization before, please go out to the website and check out or get involved with some of their activities. And also, if you are a Mary Kay fan, like I'm a Mary Kay fan, like so many people, please make sure you check out their products as well. So today we're going to have a very inspirational and inspiring young lady who I happened to talk to prior to this podcast, and I really, really adore her. She has a beautiful heart and everything, and because of that, she's a beautiful person. And it's only fitting that she has Mary Kay in her background and also working for the Buffalo Soldiers Association of West Point. So I would like to welcome to the podcast Tajiri Bracken, a healthy skin expert and fundraising chair for the Buffalo Soldiers of West Point. Tajiri is a Texas native, and she's a graduate of Texas Southern University, where she received a bachelor's degree in business management from Texas Southern University. She continued her education at the University of Charleston, West Virginia, where she earned her master's degree in strategic leadership. Her education crossed paths with her passion for African American history and cultural pride, and that intersection led to her further pursuing a position as a fundraising chair for the Buffalo Soldiers Association of West Point. And in that role, she currently spearheads their inaugural golf tournament that raises funds for the monument that will reside on the West Point campus. So, along with that, she's been with Mary Kay for a whopping 25 years. That is a lot of years, and congratulations. And she's there just teaching men and women about healthy skin regimens and how to build successful home-based businesses and also help them with any other concerns that they may have. And with all her new work, she is also a brand new author. She has wrote a book called Put Your Best Face Forward, Standing in and Out Your Power, and is scheduled to be released this spring in 2007. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the podcast Tajiri Brackens.
Well, thank you, thank you. I had to sit back and listen to that again. I was like, wow, she's actually talking about me. You know, sometimes you don't realize what all you have done or what you do until somebody else reads your accolades. And I'm like, Wow, there's quite a few accomplishments. My resume just keeps growing and growing. So thank you, thank you, thank you for
You
such
are
wonderful and
so
powerful introduction.
welcome. So welcome. And it is always refreshing to have somebody on the podcast who can, just bring some new freshness in, talk about some different things. And I love the fact that you do totally two different types of work, but it still represents beauty and loves. So tell me about your history in Mary Kay. How did you get into it? What inspired you to pursue that line of work?
Well, I started as you read or spoke that I have been in the business for 25 amazing years. Would not trade it for the world. My worst day in Mary Kay is actually better than my best day on anybody's job, and I say that primarily because nothing can beat freedom, flexibility, financial stability, as well as being able to be my own boss. Um, I started because I did want to be my own boss. I've always had the entrepreneurial spirit within me, and that started, oh gosh, probably when I was about 15 or so. I initially wanted to go to school to become a lawyer. Imagine that, watching Matlock and Perry Mason. Those were my idols at the time, and my goal was $50,000 a year. Woohoo! I'm really going to be doing something big with $50,000 a year. If only I had known then what I really know about $50,000 a year. On paper, it looks good, but by the time taxes and all of that come out, 50,000 is not 50,000. So that kind of is where my entrepreneurial spirit started. And then from there, I had this glorious idea once I went to college at the University of North Texas, one of my many roads to my bachelor's degree. Um, Took a couple of accounting classes and said, you know what? My dad's an accountant. Wouldn't it be wonderful if the two of us have our own firm together and we'll be Wines and Wines, father and daughter accounting firm? Woohoo! Big aspirations, right? But after having one incident of spending about an hour, hour and a half trying to figure out where one penny was off on one of my assignments, that I needed to turn on, I quickly said, that is not for me. Numbers is not my game. So, ironically, God has a way of divinely orchestrating things. And while I was there at the University of North Texas, I was introduced to a young lady that sold Mary Kay, and we went out for coffee. She sat down and told me all of the wonderful benefits and the perks. And the two biggest things that stood out for me was one, being my own boss, and two, a free car. Of course, having your own car, that was huge, 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 huge. And of course, by being my own boss, that fell in line with the entrepreneurial spirit. So that's kind of how it started. And I touched a little bit in the beauty industry as far as a nail technician. I did do that for a while. Went to school to get my license and was pretty successful at that. So that gave me a little bit of the ins and outs on how to operate a business. And then from there, it's like, you know what? I think I want to push this Mary Kay thing and really pursue it and embrace it because it had a little bit more um, flexibility to me, a little bit more freedom, and I was able to really touch more people's lives by being able to sit down and share with them not only how to take care of their skin to create a healthy skincare regimen, but also to show them how to operate a successful business. So from there, that's kind of how it all started, and I firmly believe another reason why Mary Kay was a good fit for me is being able to change a woman. Once you change the appearance of a woman, then that changes her heart. And once it begins to change her heart, it changes her household. And from her household, it begins to change the community. And from the community, you can change the world. So I just use Mary Kay as a vehicle and also as a ministry to be able to sit one-on-one with a woman and bring out that inner beauty.
You know, that is really a clever way of getting that technique to people. How you, I can't even repeat it all, but it sounds so beautiful the way you said it. Is how you just take one element and you integrate that to bring out a positive outcome in another element until they have actually changed their community because of the, the outcome that's coming out of all of this. And I really love the way that you put that together. So I kind of want to dig a little deeper in terms of working with Mary Kay, because I think for me, I was introduced to Mary Kay years ago. I was more on let me just buy the product. There were a couple people that wanted me to get into the business. I kind of want you to speak on really, working in that industry. What type of dedication do you really have to be successful in doing this type of business or any kind of business that's similar to Mary Kay?
Well, the biggest drive I would say is the desire and the passion to want more, to have more, and to be more. And once you get, I believe it was Fannie Lee Hamer, once you get sick and tired of being sick and tired of being sick and tired, then you begin to explore other options that can either fill that void of what it is that you're missing in your daily life, or um, being able to feel fulfill something. It could be tangible. There are a lot of different aspects with that, but as far as making it work and wanting more, um, that's why I embraced the business again, because I wanted more out of life. As I said earlier, I wanted to have my own business and to be an entrepreneur, having that entrepreneurial spirit in me. It was always there, and Mary Kay just became the vehicle for it. Um, with what I do, I just really sit down with women and I share. That is it. I just simply share. And with having that passion and that desire to want to see people grow more, to do more, and to have more, that's that's what has done it for me. And I guess kind of sharing a couple of things, or expounding on that even a little bit more. Um, as you mentioned, with me having my bachelor's degree and my master's degree, and building my business for 25 years, that was just absolutely amazing. Those are my highs that were in my life. And then I've also been able to um, develop a strong inner circle that challenges me as well as that motivates me. And I had all of that going on. Everything was fine. Everything was dandy. Um, and I guess I kind of digress a little bit here, but it all ties together. And then in my other life, my professional life, I was a corporate travel agent, and that was very volatile. In and out of work. Once the commissions got cut and the mergers start happening, then everybody starts downsizing. I mean, I have worked from um, like American Express as a corporate agent. I've done American Airlines. I've done Continental, and then it merged with United. So I've seen a lot of ups and downs, and of course, because of that, there were a lot of financial woes that came along with that. So Mary Kay was beautiful in coming in and filling in that void financially for me, and still allowing me to be able to maintain the same lifestyle that I actually have, that I've grown to love and that I've grown to adore. So that's how Mary Kay fit into that, and I just saw the opportunity to be able to work it in the nooks and crannies of every aspect of my life. With doing, like, for now, the tournament, the inaugural golf tournament with Buffalo Soldiers, being very active within my church, working on my book, finishing that up, the promotion that goes along with that. So as far as the actual dedication time, it's really what you want out of it. If you have a material goal that you want, then once you know what it is, that, let's say, a car or a house or something, then once you know what that dollar amount is, you're able to kind of map out where it is that you need to work your business, where it is that you need to spend a little more time focusing on, and then from there you can bite that elephant one bite at a time. So just bring it down to what I learned in business school: SMART goals, things that are attainable, that are measurable within a timely manner, and so forth. So just being able to map that out and making it happen. So that's kind of how Mary Kay came to me. And why I've stuck with it for so long, the longevity in it. And as I said earlier, my worst day in Mary Kay is better than my best day on anybody's job because I'm able to pour into people. I'm able to, as I said, my ministry, I can give them some of the things that they need, whether it be encouragement,
Mhm.
some life lessons that I have learned to help me get over a negative hump or a bump or what have you. And Mary Kay is just, it's really more than color cosmetics and skincare. It truly is a connection with
Mhm.
people.
That's wonderful. So let me ask you a question, okay? So I saw in your bio that you work with women and men. So what are some of the things that you do for men that that you connect with? I'm pretty sure some of it might be some beauty products, but are there other aspects in which you're kind of like connecting with men?
Yes, we by using Mary Kay as the vehicle, if you have skin, we have something for it. So so yes, we can accommodate anyone. But the way that I'm able to connect more so with men is because as I have learned, men are very matter of fact. You do have women that way as well, but men are very matter of fact, and not that everything is about money, but their ability to provide for their families that helps to define their manhood. So if you can show somebody how to be able to provide for their families, to be able to have that freedom and that flexibility, as I mentioned before, it's just a way of showing them. When you show them the facts and you show them the money, then everything else will come into play from there. And again, the freedom and the flexibility that goes along with that.
Mhm.
And although a man provides, and that's his purpose, or one of his purposes for his family, when he has others that are depending on him, when you can show him an easier way to do it, that doesn't mean that. Let me say a simpler way to do it, because Mary Kay is very, very simple. All we do is just basically show 8 primary products to potential customers. They enjoy it, they love it, and then they purchase it because the products do sell themselves. But being able to share with the man how he can have another source of income, because I am a strong believer, a firm believer of having multiple sources of income. Um,
Absolutely, absolutely. Just have to do that. And the reason why I asked that question about men is because I have yet to run into a young man that's actually selling Mary Kay. Not saying that they're not out there, but I think it's also good to hear from a Mary Kay representative that there are men out there that's not afraid to sell beauty products to women or sit down and say, "Hey, I have something that will make you feel good." I'm always running into women all the time, but I have yet to run into any men that is, partaking in that activity at all. And I think it'd be a great idea if we had more men that would do that.
Well, we do have quite a few. I guess because I'm on the inside, to where I can see things a little bit different. I've got the quote unquote inside scoop on the men that are in Mary Kay. But actually, it is easier for a man to sell to a woman than it can be for a woman to sell to a woman, because constantly we size each other up, and
Hmm.
this is generally speaking, we size each other up. Whereas if a man comes and gives a woman an honest compliment, it's a wrap. And
Wow.
that feeds into their femininity, and that accepts. And it's not a flirtatious type of thing. Just when, I mean, think about it. If somebody says, "Oh, that's a beautiful blouse that you have on," from a woman, thank you. That's fine. And then, but to hear it from a man,
Hmm.
oh, you noticed. And
Right.
it's just those small little things. And it puts, a smile on your face. It puts a smile in your heart, a smile in your spirit, honey. And you wear those shoulders back, and you step like a stallion in those stilettos. It just feels good to get those compliments. And that's why I say, for a man, it can be easier than for a woman. Now, granted, there are some men that's like, I don't know for sure if I can do that, which is why the percentage is much smaller. compared to women in Mary Kay.
Well,
But
I don't know.
still,
I don't know, to Jerry. I think after you said that, I think a lot more men are going to start coming out and say, "How can I sell some Mary Kay?" Because if I can come out and tell you that you look good and make some money, they're going to, because you're saying that, hey, I'm seeing men make more money than me. They're going to be like, okay, where can I find a Mary Kay?
exactly. And men are, like I said, matter of fact. You show them the facts, you show them A, B, C, and D, and they understand it. And they understand business, they understand money.
Okay, well, we know that's a wrap there, like you say. So let's move over to your book. So tell me about this book that you wrote because I'm really interested to hear more about it.
Well, the first book, my debut book, which is Putting Your Best Face Forward, Standing in and on Your Power, that was generated from some of those low places that I had in my life and having to pull myself up. I don't want to be cliche-ish, but kind of pull myself up by the bootstraps and learn the things that I needed to do in order to overcome those adverse places in my life, and understanding within myself that there was power that I had, there was an anointing that I had, and there was a spirit that I have, and being able to tackle that and attach myself to that and nurture that, I was able to come out of some of those bad places. I'll give you kind of an example. It's not a personal example, but the premise as to why I decided to write this, because there are so many people that have bad places. Let's just hypothetically say a woman that has been molested as a child. And not that I'm making light of that situation, but sometimes people unpack their baggage and they stay in that place. And here it is 40, 50 years later down the line, and they still haven't really healed from that. So the purpose of my book is to be able to share some things that can help you get, again, past those places and to use that adverse place as a springboard to catapult you to greatness and to your next level of living and being able to supersize your life.
Wow. Okay. Well, you know what? I can't wait till your book come out. I think I'm gonna be the first person that'll buy your book.
Well,
I'm
honey, I will
excited.
have one with your name on it. I will
Awesome.
personally autograph it for you.
And everybody who's listening, I don't want to hear no excuses. You guys to go out here and buy her book because you know what? We all need to pull ourselves by the bootstraps. We really, really do. There are times that we're not going to always feel good about anything, but you know what? It's always good to have a tool at your fingertip that's going to help you move forward. And so, congratulations on your book. I am really excited for you. So, I am now interested in the Buffalo Soldiers. I've never heard of this organization before. I read up on them, and just tell me a little bit about the organization and how you came about working for them.
Well, I'm very passionate about African American studies and culture. I won't say that I am a guru in it, but I'm constantly an eager student in learning more about the contributions of African American history. Excuse me, of African Americans in history, not just in our personal history, but in history. Period. Um, and how I kind of came about being the fundraising chair for the Buffalo Soldiers Association of West Point is because of that passion. And the now president of the organization saw me as being an asset because my ability to connect with people from my Mary Kay side, those skills that I learned from that, and then being able to plug in the historical factor of history, then that just seemed like a natural fit because of the passion of history and the ability to connect with people. But as being the fundraising chair, I'm excited about the $1.5 million project that we have going up on West Point's campus that is going to commemorate the Buffalo Soldiers from there on West Point's campus, their academy. And it's just another way to be able to tell our story from our voice because because nobody can tell our story the way that we can.
Wow, that's fantastic. So, as a small business owner and working with the West Point, what is it that you need that you would like other small businesses to consider when networking with you?
Well, one, they can rest assured that I'm a firm believer in corporate responsibility and giving back. And although I'm not a big billion-dollar company, I still feel I have a responsibility to give back. Scripture tells us too much is given, much is expected. So God has given me everything that He has, and I just have to be able to give back. And I have found that through, we call it BSOP for short, Buffalo Soldiers Association of West Point, BSOP, that's how I'm able to give back to something that is very close and dear to my heart. Hence why I'm on the committee for raising the funds for the monument that's actually going to be there, and part of that comes from the golf tournament that we're actually doing, which I'm super excited about. I've always done golf tournaments as far as being on the other side after everything has been planned, but this is the inaugural for us, and I'm on the back end of it for doing the actual planning. Golf tournaments are a wonderful way to not only connect with people and to network with people. A lot happens on the golf course. My own little cliche or spin on it is you got to get on the green to get some green. And I'm just seeing a lot of business deals and what have you happen on the golf course. It's a nice, relaxing way to be around good company, good conversations, and then if it's a beautiful day outside, that's just the extra cherry on top. So I'm just really excited about that. And, of course, I do golf. Yes, I am a golfer. Just this time I won't be participating in the golf tournament itself, but I am spearheading it.
Okay, so that is fantastic. So are you so in the end of that, are you asking businesses who want to connect with you to meet you on the golf course for a tee? Because see, I can't golf. I can putt putt, but I can't golf, you know? So ladies and gentlemen, if you guys want to connect with her just to get on the green, to network with the Buffalo Soldiers of West Point, you want to network with Mary Kay, please make sure you reach out. Her contact information is on this page, and feel free to also connect with everybody else that's on this podcast. To Jerry, I am so thankful that you came on this podcast. You really have given me some new inspiration in how to think about beauty and giving back to the community, and also just feeling really, really happy about your passion. You know, I can actually feel it all the way over here, and you're all the way in Texas. Okay, so I actually feel your passion and your beauty all the way here, and I hope everybody who's listening to this podcast feels it as well. So thank you so very much for being on the podcast today.
Thank you for having me. It was truly an honor, and I'm just super excited about being able to connect with the other people, not just business-wise, but personally, because if you don't care, people don't care how much you know. They only are concerned about want to know how much you care. I know I twisted that a little bit, but basically people don't care how much you know. They want to know how much you care. And that's what I do as far as giving back. I mean, like you say, you can hear it. It seeps out of me. I can wake up in the middle of the night as far as my passion for pouring into other people and helping them to move to their next, to their next, to their next, and then the next, and the next, and the next level of living. And that's why you see on my hashtags, you see the hashtag on a lot of things that I do, next level living, because that's what I'm about. And that kind of ties into, as I digress here, with my Mary Kay, the name of my unit is Talented 10th. And I chose Talented 10th as it relates to W.E.B. Du Bois and being in alignment with each one, reach one, and each one bring somebody forward. That's what I'm all about, because so many times we do things alone life is cyclical for all of us. But we just need to know that we're not by somebody else to show us how to move about the craziness in this world and know that it's going to be okay.
Awesome. Fantastic. Fantastic.